Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today's video is jam-packed with a lot of gaming related news, including some topics like EA coming out and explaining the real reason that Dragon Age the Veilguard failed so hard. Then we're going to look at the troubled release of Civ 7. Then we're going to look at Battle Pass trying to recruit non-binary gamers. And then we'll conclude this video with some more troubling information regarding the very soon to be released game Avowed. But first, we're going to start with this company and game right here, this stain on your screen called Project Ethos. It's an in-development roguelike hero shooter. Oh, thank God. We need more of those. There's only been about 400 of these in the last couple of years, but this is the game, and you can watch the preview video playing in the background. It's basically a Fortnite clone, and as always, when people try to basically go and copy what the big dogs are doing, it never works out. You're not going to get a single Fortnite player to abandon their favorite game to go play Project Ethos, which, by the way, is just a downgrade. It's basically Fortnite with DEI higher characters in the game. They look like Concord characters. It's being called Concord 2.0. That is a very bad label to have. Now, what we're going to look at here is some crazy news that was just released today. So here's the headline. 2K Games fires studio head Michael Condrey after disappointing Project Ethos reveal. But the publisher says it's not giving up on the game or 31st Union, the developer. Now, this is wild. This is something you don't see very often, where the head of a game is getting fired before it even releases. That's how bad things are for this game and its development studio. And it's based on this right here. This is really the only preview we have of this game. This was released back last year by IGN. Project Ethos, first hands-on impressions. And as you can see, gamers are going wild. They love this game. They're very impressed. You can see the like-dislike ratio. 500 likes versus 6,300 dislikes. And as always, I like to point this out with examples like this. It's not just the terrible ratio in the like-dislike bar here. It's also the apathy. It's the lack of interest generally. I mean, look, it only has 60,000 views in several months. That's not very good, especially knowing that probably the overwhelming majority of people who clicked on this clicked on it to make fun of it and dislike the video. So that's a really bad sign. That shows right here that there's only a very small number of people who have any general interest in this game. And the comment section on this is absolutely hilarious. Let's read some of the comments. So, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? The generic YouTube type beat trap instrumentals playing in the background is the icing on the cake. Opens the video and hits play. Free to play third-person hero extraction shooter with roguelike elements. Pauses video and leaves. Concord 2. Creatively bankrupt. I've seen this games like this 400 times in the past 10 years. It's getting old now. How the hell are these games getting greenlit? It's literally a one-to-one Fortnite clone, aesthetically, in a genre that every other company is trying to milk. Yeah, they have absolutely no shot. Like I said, you're not going to succeed by copying what's at the top. The people who are playing the games at the top aren't going to abandon those games for your ripoff. This never works. I don't understand why they do this. But here is the caveat to this whole situation. So you can see this company coming out and saying, oh, yeah, we got rid of our head over at this game at Project Ethos. We're rebranding, right? No, that's not what they're doing. You can see here, right? So 31st Union announced that this person is no longer the head. However, he's still going to be a part of the team and help build this game. He'll be transitioning his role in the short term to focus on advising on the future of Project Ethos. And they remain very committed to the forward path for Project Ethos and the people and culture of the 31st Union Studio. So basically, they didn't even really fire this guy. They just demoted him. And on top of that, they're saying, yes, everything's going horribly. Everyone hates our game. No one's genuinely interested in this game. But we're going to keep doing the same thing. Like, are they for real? Are they really this stupid? But you see these mentions of the culture at 31st Union Studio. And boy, is it an interesting culture. So I did some digging on 31st Union Studio and some of the partners they work with, and man, does all of this make sense. That's why we're getting a DEI higher version of Fortnite, okay? We're getting Concord 2.0 because of this studio. So some people actually talked about this back when that initial teaser was released, and people were looking at the website of 31st Union, and you can see the classic, who are we? Well, they're a bunch of association of game makers driven by passion for our art and inspired by culture of inclusivity. Yup, modern audience type crap. We believe people will bring their best selves to work when they are treated equitably, can thrive in a psychologically safe space, and feel that they belong. We actively seek diverse ideas, perspectives, and cultures in order to provide collective understanding, identify better solutions, and promote a more inspired world. Now, I went to their website, and it appears that this sort of language has been shifted around a little bit, but it's even worse now. It's even more DEI driven. So this is straight from 31st Union's website. Who we are, once again. This time they say we are an association of game makers driven by a passion for our inspired by a culture of inclusivity to build games that throw people everywhere. We cherish our studio independence and autonomy and value the collaborative support of incredible perks of Take-Two Interactive. Wait a second. You've probably heard that name, Take-Two Interactive, before. So here's their website. You can see they're involved with 2K as well as they're promoting the release of Civ 7, which we'll talk about later in this video. Now, if you go to their website, you can immediately find their T2 diversity statement. Oh, I already know this is going to be great. Down here, they just list a bunch of just kind of generic nonsense, the slop you always expect when it comes to diversity rights. They want to have an inclusive workplace in which everyone feels respected, heard, and safe. They're going to work together on company-sponsored service projects in communities in which we operate, encouraging individual volunteerism through philanthropic and matching donation programs, providing financial and other support to organizations working to eradicate social and racial injustice, working with organizations to support the rights of the LGBTIQ community and increase that community's representation in our industry, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's a whole lot of activism, obviously, and this is like what drives their company more than anything else. And if you want to see something that really will open your eyes to how crazy this all gets, I found this playlist on YouTube, Take-Two DEI series by gay gaming professionals. This is the most modern audience thing I have ever seen in my life. Okay, it is a literal DEI series produced by people who are associated with Take-Two. It's unbelievable. Now you can see the videos here, right? Absolutely phenomenal. Allyship at Take-Two Interactive, world impact at Take-Two Interactive, intersectionality and belonging at Take-Two. And then this banger, right? Affirmations at Take-Two. Let's see this video, okay? Let's just listen to a little bit of the ideologue over here at Take-Two.
Take-Two Interactive is taking great strides in implementing their diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, but the company knows that this is just the beginning. Dedicated to the growth of creators, owners, and consumers of games, they will continue to provide, protect, and promote programs and organizations both within and outside the company to ensure the spectrum of diversity is ever expanding in the industry.
The world is waking.
What happened to just making games, dude? You know what I mean? What happened to just making games and not dedicating your main goal of your company to DEI and all of this stuff? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how far things have gotten. Now, you can see this video was released a couple years ago, and now looking back at this in retrospect, it's so funny because this stuff is gone. This stuff is getting leveled across the industry. Nobody is supporting this garbage, but they're still holding on, right? The people who are proponents of this stuff, they're still holding on despite everyone openly rejecting this nonsense.
There's a certain level of consciousness, right, that we're seeing around us. I think that we're still learning what this means to design a business function to support diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it shouldn't be the job of one person, right? This is really a significant lift across the board around learning and development, around talent acquisition. There's so much to consider as we.
So they're basically saying DEI is a business. They just straight up said it. It's a business. They're turning diversity, equity, and inclusion into a business. And this is something that's not just going to affect the related industries like the gaming industry. This is going to expand beyond those reaches into every walk of life. Doesn't that sound great? I am so glad we're rejecting this nonsense. And honestly, I couldn't even get through this 7-minute long video because the background music's way too loud. It's just a mess, right? It's just a mess. So that is Project Ethos, clearly influenced by a lot of woke companies out there and initiatives, and it's showing because they are literally the DEI higher version of Fortnite, which is just a brutal label. Now let's go back to Dragon Age the Veilguard. So there's been a lot of talk, especially after the very disappointing results of this game. EA, in a preliminary Q3 report, came out and said this game only had 1.5 million players, not units sold, 1.5 million players, and it was only about half of their expectations for this game and was a big pain point in their company. And hearing that news resulted in a 18% drop in EA's stock. It was very, very brutal. Now, a lot of people know the reasons for this and why this game failed so much because it's such a departure from everything this game was about. It was about activism. It was about pushing an agenda, all while doing it in a very ham-fisted and poorly written way that was just so unappealing. But a lot of people are scrambling to find out the real reason why Veilguard failed. Social media has been trying, and as you can see from the official Dragon Age Veilguard subreddit, Judd's ruined BioWare. Hope you assholes are happy for ruining the careers of many employees. If you didn't like it, all you had to do was ignore it and let the ones who do enjoy, but you had to review bomb and hate grift the game, and now BioWare is on its last legs. You all must feel so proud and are edging to Asmongold videos in celebration of EA gutting BioWare. What an amazing last sentence right there. But yeah, if I had a Reddit account, I'd update this one for its creativity. It's at least very entertaining, to say the least. But clearly it wasn't the Chuds. Clearly it was something else, right? It couldn't be these things we're all mentioning here. EA has the answer through its president here. So EA suggests Dragon Age the Veilguard might have sold better if it was a live service. So what does that mean for Mass Effect 5? And here's the statement: increasingly seek shared world features and deeper engagement. That's what they're going for here. You can see the statement: in order to break out beyond the core audience, games need to directly connect to the evolving demand of players who increasingly seek shared world features and deeper engagement alongside high-quality narratives in this beloved category. So yeah, EA's boss there, Andrew Wilson, is making it clear it was the lack of a live service option that led to the disappointment that was Veilguard. And to answer the question up here, you know, we know that's delusion, what he just said there. But to answer this question from Eurogamer, so what does this mean for Mass Effect 5? It means there's probably going to be a live service function, and this game's probably going to be very, very underwhelming and disappointing. That's what's going on here. And this is literally the last breath of life for BioWare. If this is not a massive success, I think it's very safe to say they're cooked at this point. But let's move on to the next part of this video. So Battlefield, they're coming out with a new game, and they need some help, right? They need some testers to start playing some of the gameplay here. Well, how is that going to turn out? Well, as Endymion points out here in this tweet, the new Battlefield game has opened its surveys for playtesters. I got sent this by someone in the playtest. Why does DICE want to know what your gender and ethnicity is when it comes to trying out their game? Why is my pattern recognition telling me that if you choose white and male, you'll have a lower chance of getting into those playtests? Aren't we past these things already? This info is not relevant to whether you are eligible to try out Battlefield or not. Very weird. So you can see here are the questions being asked in this survey. You can see you can select non-binary, gender queer, and gender fluid, or you can even describe your own set. If it's not on there, you can put whatever you want, whatever you identify as. If you identify as a tree, please let them know over at Battlefield. But you can see it continues on asking about which of the following best represents the way you describe your racial or ethnic identity. You can see the options here, and obviously there's something very interesting here because there's another screenshot that shows clearly the answers you have to this survey will impact the likelihood you're going to be accepted for the playtesting. Completing the survey might increase your chances of being selected for Battlefield Labs playtests. So at this point, you go through the survey here. Of course, just pick non-binary and then go over and pick something like Pacific Islander or Native American or something like that, right? Because that's probably going to increase your chances of getting into the playtest. And that's the fault of Battlefield here for making it incentivized to select something that would make you diverse, because it might increase your chances of getting into the playtest, which ultimately just messes up the information anyways. Like, if you see someone who's selecting certain features or ways to represent themselves, it might not actually reflect that population. This whole thing is an invasive mess. And again, we're seeing this garbage continuing, and you can't just have regular playtesting, right? You can't just have anyone do it. You have to have a very diverse group of gamers do it. Now let's move on to the next part of this video right here. So Civ 7 came out, and it's been shaky, to say the least. You can see right now 61,000 in-game players, which I guess is decent. It's not a complete disaster, but it's probably underwhelming in the grand scheme of things. But what's really eyebrow-raising is the 43% Steam rating. 43% for what is a very popular franchise and one that people are really dedicated towards. But based on what we've seen over the past couple of editions of this franchise, people have lost continuing faith in this game. And you can see the price tag on this is crazy. You can go for the $70 option, or you can get the deluxe edition for $100, or you can get the Founders Edition for a cool $130. Boy howdy, can I not wait for GTA 6 to come out and raise all of these prices even higher, because they're going to set a new standard with their price. I'm almost sure of it. So what's going on? Why are people so angry at Civ 7? Well, I'm hearing there's a lot of disjointed and just wacky stuff in the game. I heard from someone that at one point Harriet Tubman is presented in the game as a general, which is just, If that's true, that is one of the weirdest things I've heard. That is definitely rewriting history, and that's not really a recommended thing for a Civ game. But anyways, we're going to move on to the final topic of today's video. So the other day we talked about this inside information from Craig here, where his retail insider is showing some trends in their 800 plus stores. And we talked about AC Shadows, but today I want to talk quickly about Avowed. So you can see Avowed right now. Xbox pre-orders, 167, 36 of which are canceled. This game comes out in like a week. Ooh, for a AAA release, these pre-order numbers look abysmal. But if you've looked at this game and also the wackadoos associated with this game and its studio, it's not surprising to see absolutely no hype on this. And to make matters worse, as has been pointed out, the Avowed Premium Edition is $95. And guess what? It doesn't come with a disc. Yeah, that's right. PayPig, you're going to give them $95. And you're not even going to get a physical disc. And you're going to like it. And you're going to keep consuming. Like, are we off our rockers here? This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. But anyways, that is going to do it for today's video. A lot of different topics. So as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.